Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the latest in our series of Doha debates, coming to you from the Gulf state of Qatar and sponsored by the Qatar Foundation. Out of all the Arab states to be hit by the pro-democracy wave this year, Syria is putting up the stiffest resistance. President Assad's forces are said to have killed well over 3,500 people protesting at his rule, and the number is rising by the day. He promises political reforms, but somehow they don't appear. He promises the Arab League to remove tanks from the streets, but they're still there. To let in foreign observers, but they're still excluded. So should he step down, or is the president still a vital player in a turbulent and dangerous region? Our motion tonight takes the opposite view. This House believes that Syria's President Assad should resign. Our panel, of course, represents both views. Speaking for the motion, Obeida Nahas, a Syrian politician who's a member of the Syrian National Council and the National Action Group for Syria. And with him, Emile Hokayem, Senior Fellow for Regional Security at the International Institute for Strategic Studies in Bahrain. Against the motion, Ammar Waqqaf. He's a management consultant and member of the Syrian Social Club, a pro-government group supporting reform based in London. And Kamel Wazne, political analyst and founder of the Center of American Strategic Studies, a regional think tank based in Beirut. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our panel. So now let me first ask Obeida Nahas to speak for the motion.
Thank you, Tim. For 11 years, we had to put up with a president whose only qualification was that he was the son of a dictator who crushed our society, liberty, and rights for 30 years. Many Syrians believed that the international community was implicit in the smooth power transition back in 2000. Or let me put it this way, the Passover of a republic from a father to his son. But many others believed that it was our responsibility to regain our rights. Modernity, economic development, stability, etc., were all used along the way to justify Bashar's rule. But after another lost decade on all these fronts, the Syrian people, who got nothing in return for their silence, but more detentions, torture, and killings, took the lead and revolted against one of the worst tyrannies in the region. They exposed a once called Western-educated doctor for what he is, a butcher willing to do anything to remain in power. When a ruler faces protests as wide and painful as the Syrian revolution, this is a cry for help. Have you asked yourselves why people are willing to go out and protest every day and die in front of tanks and refuse to go back home before their demands are met? What kind of life do they lead under such a regime? 5,000 heroes fell over the last 8 months. 40,000 were wounded, 35,000 were detained. How many more of us should Bashar al-Assad kill before he goes? If you think he can still stay after all this, then try to convince the mothers of 300 killed children. No throne in the world is worth the life of civilians. I think Bashar al-Assad must resign immediately.
Obeida Nahas, thank you very much indeed. You say Syrians took the lead and revolted. How many Syrians? 1% of the population, perhaps? Tiny percentage there. 150,000 people, maybe in all. What about the others? Don't they have a say, the majority?
Of course they have a say.
He still has strong support in the country?
Well, they don't have the means to have their say. That's the problem. If this regime
Well, they are having their say. They're turning out in demonstrations pretty frequently to support him.
Well, we believe these demonstrations are not true. They are forced to go out. They have to go out from their schools. They can't all be forced to go out. I mean, even the American Council on Foreign Relations says he still commands a strong and loyal army, enjoys support from the business elite in Syria's 2 largest cities, in Damascus and Aleppo, also retains the support of many, especially the minorities, who fear what will happen if he goes. That's quite a lot of support in the country. No, it's not.
And you're calling gaily for his overthrow?
If he's so confident, why doesn't he open up and have free elections? It's very easy. He can open up and have free elections. He can actually accept observers to come in, accept the free media to go in. Why isn't he not doing so? He's hiding something.
You think seriously that the day Assad steps down, which is what you're recommending, that some kinder, gentler figure is going to emerge from the wings, who's going to respect human rights suddenly, who's going to give the people all they've been looking for, the freedom? Do you really think that's in the wings? Doesn't look like it, does it?
This is the end of Superman hero